Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, Duta BPJS Kesehatan all over in Indonesia. Welcome to the Initiative National Debate Competition INDC 2024. Okay, it's very good to see you all here again. Now we are in top 16 or round 16. But before we start, please make it clear that you are joining the right room. Right now you are joining round 16, session 2, room B. So please recheck again, you are in the right room. Okay, this evening we will witness a match. I think it will be an interesting match between two debate teams. From Affirmative House, we have The Edge from Kantor Cabang Samarinda, Kedeputian Wilayah 8. Hello, The Edge. Hi.
Hello, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How do you
And
do?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. Next, we'll be talking again. Okay, and for the negative house, we have Raya Nechters from the KC Palangkaraya, Kedeputian Wilayah also Kedeputian Wilayah 8. Hello, KC Palangkaraya. Raya
Hi.
Nechters.
Hi.
Hello. All right, it's very interesting because it's Kepwil 8 versus Kepwil 8. Who will be the winner in this session, guys? Okay, everyone. First, I would like to introduce myself. Hello, I am Aisyah Junaid. You can call me Ais. I'm your moderator for this session and will lead the session till the end. I'm from Kantor Cabang Banjarmasin, also Kedeputian Wilayah 8. So, I'm here with my co-moderator, Miss Vika. Hello, Miss Vika, and from Corpu University, Miss Chendi, to help me operate and timer for today's session. All right, right now we have 3 honorable adjudicators. I would like to say hi first to our adjudicators. First adjudicator is Miss Tati Denawati. Hello, Miss Dena. How are you today?
Hello, I'm great, thank you.
Thank you.
Looking
Miss Dena,
forward
can
to
you?
tonight's debate. I'm looking forward to tonight's debate, so please make sure you do your best.
Yes, thank you, Miss Dena. That's support from Miss Dena to all the contestants. Okay, our second adjudicator is Mr. Doni Hendrawan. Hello, Mr. Doni. Hello, sir. How do you do? Your voice isn't. Sorry,
Sorry,
please
sorry.
unmute.
Yeah. Sorry, I forget to open it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
How are you? How are you? I hope you all are in your best condition and can wait to see you arguing and debating. But please, before we start, can you show all your full face in the camera? Because, like for example, for the second speaker from the H, I cannot see the face clearly. Okay, right now I can see it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Good luck.
Thank you, Mr. Doni. Okay, please make your face in the camera full. Okay, and our third adjudicator is Miss Mardiana. Hello, Miss Mardiana.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Hello, please
Good
say
evening.
anything. Good evening.
Today, together with Mr. Doni and Miss Dana, I'll be one of the adjudicator this event. Congrats for all of you who already entered round 16. We really anticipate best games, best match, from all of you tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Mariana. Okay, once again, I would like to say thank you so much for our honorable adjudicator. Thank you so much for giving your precious time to join us in round 16 INDC 2024. All right, now we'll go to the contestant. We have 2 teams here. As affirmative house, we have the H from Kantor Cabang Samarinda. Okay, now in this session, I will let you guys to introduce yourself by yourself. So please, we'll go to the first speaker of affirmative house. Please introduce yourself and maybe you want to say anything to us in this evening.
Hello, my name is Bambang Sutejo. I first speaker in the H. Good luck for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bambang. Okay, we'll go to the second speaker of the affirmative house, the H, please.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Ais. This is our second meeting ya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everybody. My name is Devi Galindrawati. I'm the second speaker of the affirmative house. It's nice to meet you all. Good luck for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, by the way, for the second speaker, please make your face full in the camera because it's like in the half your face. Thank you so much. And the third speaker of the H, the affirmative house, please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Giovanni Keisha and I'm coming from Capwil 8 as well. Before today's game, and let's play a nice game for this debating competition.
Thank you so much. Very good. Let's do the nice game. Okay, and for the counselor of the affirmative house, we have Mr. Citra Jaya. Thank you. And then we'll go to the negative house, Raya Naitas. First speaker with Muhlis Almawan. Hello, Mr. Muhlis. Please introduce
Hello.
yourself.
Thank
Please
you.
say anything.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the time. Good luck for us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then the second speaker of Raya Naitas first, please.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm as the second speaker. I'm Ratna. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think you're out from the immersive room. We will fix soon. And then the third speaker of Raya Naitas, please.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Leah, the third speaker of Raya Nighters team. Good luck for us. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for the Honorable Counselor, Pak Kristi Sahindro. Hello, Pak Hindro. Thank you so much for joining us in this evening. And then I want to say hello to all of our audience in the Zoom meeting. To all audience, the chat box is all yours. Everyone is free to write anything, but please remember it's a safe space. So please keep it positive and be kind. All right, before we start, allow me to read some small rules for all the participants. First, no participants are allowed to open their microphone before their own turn. Second, team member must rename themselves with format team name underscore first, second, or third, and team name underscore counselor for the counselor. I think we are okay with this rule. And then third rule, each team member joins with their own Zoom account, not allowed to join in shared account. And please, as Pak Doni said before, make your face full in the Zoom. And then last rule is the operator may do necessary things to make sure that the session runs smoothly. Okay, speakers, are we clear with the rules? Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our honorable educators and all the debaters, without any further ado, let's start the debate in this session. I will read once again, our motion today. Our motion is, this House believes that the government should reduce the fuel subsidy for private transportation. And the premise is, a fuel subsidy refers to a financial support mechanism provided by governments to reduce the cost purchasing fuels such as gasoline, diesel, or other petroleum products for consumers. Private transportation involves vehicles that are owned or leased by individuals or business for their exclusive use. The affirmative House must account that governmental policies that provide fuel subsidies used in private transportation should be decreased. Okay, speakers, I want to ask you, are we clear with the motions?
Yes.
Okay, we clear, right? Okay, I hope everyone use your time wisely, and please prepare your data to rebut your another team. Okay, the first chance of speaking comes to first speaker of the affirmative side. Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay, you have 3 minutes, so please use your time wisely, carefully, and you can see your time in the corner. Your time begins once you start speaking.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, honorable adjudicator and all the participants. The budget for the fuel subsidies has been increasing year by year. The heavy burden of fuel subsidy limit fiscal space, thereby restricting the allocation of the budget for other development sector. If the increase fuel subsidy is not controlled, it could lead a budget deficit exceeding 3%, violating the national financial law, which stipulates that the maximum deficit is 3% of gross domestic product. Data from the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources show that 89% of subsidized fuel users are in the land transportation sector, with the larger percent of subsidized fuel being premium at 60%. The consumption of premium fuel in the land transportation sector is dominated by private car at 53%, with 59% of premium consumption occurring in Java, Bali region. Based on this data, it can be said the fuel subsidy are not well targeted. To ensure the subsidized fuel does not burden the state budget and that subsidies are more effectively targeted, it is necessary to optimize the saving for fuel subsidies. In addition, the benefits of a reduction of fuel subsidies, especially of private official, include first, improvement in air quality. Private vehicles are a major source of population in many cities. Reduction subsidies can decrease the number of private vehicles on the road, which in turn can reduce air population and improve public health. Second, increase public transportation with higher fuel price. People may be more encouraged to use public transportation, bike or walk. The could reduce traffic congestion and enhance the overall efficiency to the transport system. Third, economic fairness. Fuel subsidies often disproportionately benefit those who own expensive private vehicle. By reduced subsidies, fund can be programmed as the more benefit to society as well, especially to those who are more in it. And then the conclusion of the fuel subsidies is where reduction of fuel subsidies for private vehicle may present some short-term challenge. The long-term benefit for the environment, economic, and public health can be significant. Thank you. Just enough.
Thank you so much for the first speaker of the affirmative house. You used your time very well. And then we're moving to the negative house. First speaker, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Your time begins once you start speaking.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Also, the honorable adjudicator for today's debate. Thank you for the opportunity. We on a negative team strongly do not support the reduction of fuel subsidy for private transportation. I see the point what first speaker opinion from the affirmative team, but I think, in my opinion, fuel has become primary need in the lives of Indonesian population. The provision of fuel subsidy is not only carried out by the Indonesian government, but also the other countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Russia, Egypt. The sector that are given subsidy vary in each country, but the general sector that given subsidy are sector that are considered the most important and concern the life of many people. Subsidy reduce economic efficiency, but it also acknowledges that subsidy are usually given to protect target group, usually the lower income, or to maintain consumer purchasing power. Fuel subsidy arise in developing country because domestic consumer price for fuel products are regulated directly by government. Domestic fuel price are adjusted ad hoc as an effort to protect domestic consumer from high and unstable oil price. I have three arguments for reason not reducing fuel subsidy. First, reduced subsidy can lead to sentiment public, protest, and political instability. Two, in time of economy downturn or crisis, subsidy can help stabilize the economy by keeping consumer price low. The improvement in people purchasing power in encourage business actor to boost production. Business entities become more production driven by expectation of people purchasing power. And third, a significant portion of the population relies of affordable fuel for daily commute and livelihood. Removing subsidy without adequate social safety nets can increase poverty and inequality. September 2029, poverty line in Indonesia was increased of 10.19%. According to BPS, the increase in the poverty line is caused by domino effect, the increase in fuel price. The question is, what we are ready to face economic inflation due to the reduction in fuel subsidies? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, speaker, you still have your time. Do you want to use it?
That's enough.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we are moving to the second speaker of the affirmative house, the H. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Second speaker? Okay, thank you. Your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, the honorable educator on the participant debate for today. Like our first speaker delivered before, why we believe the government should reduce the fuel subsidy for the private transportation is because there's another cheaper alternative to press the transportation cost by using electric transportation that subsidized by the government. It is better to allocate the subsidy for electric transportation rather than fuel. Besides, it encourages renewable energy resources. It's cheaper to afford electric vehicle rather than gasoline-powered vehicles. In 2023, the average cost to operate an electrical vehicle in the United States per year, while the average cost for gasoline powered vehicles in $1,117. And then when we say that the first speaker of the negative say it will lead for the sentiment public if there's reducing the fuel subsidy, it may be lead the sentiment for a negative sentiment from the public. But as the happen for time for years, at the first it lead the sentiment public, but at the end when it's happen, the people or the public understand why it's important to reduce the fuel subsidy for another, because when private transportation are limited to buy the to have the subsidies fuel, we can allocate it the subsidy for another, such as for the healthcare, for the better education, for the better transportation, for better access for everything. And then if the lower income, yes, it's subsidies will be for the people with a lower income, but at the fact the subsidies are more enjoyed by the people who are in the middle to the upper status. By the data on the CommonQ, so since March 2021, subsidies are enjoyed only 5% of the per family and for solar subsidy and Pertalite is only 2,000 to 20% and LPG only 32%, and the rest are enjoyed by the industry and the people or public from the middle to the upper status economic. And like I was say before, that it just reduce, it's not eliminate the subsidy. Just we can make a regulation to do that by make a limitation what kind of. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, second speaker of the affirmative house. Now, the turn of second speaker of the negative house. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting for second speaker, and I understand about that, but I want to refuse the affirmative side. I have arguments about the continuing of fuel subsidies, especially for private transportation. The first is by keeping fuel prices stable. Subsidies can help control inflation, since fuel costs are a major component of the cost of goods and services. Fluctuations in fuel prices can lead to broader inflationary pressures. And then the second is sectors such as agriculture, fishing, and public transportation often rely heavily on fuel. Subsidies can help keep operating costs manageable for these sectors, ensuring food security, affordable public transportation, and overall economic stability. The third is sudden increase in fuel prices due to the subsidy removal can lead to public discontent, protests, and political instability. Maintaining subsidies can help governments avoid social unrest and maintain political stability, especially in regions where fuel prices are a sensitive issue. The fourth is in times of economic downturn or recovery, maintaining fuel subsidies can stimulate economic growth by reducing costs for business and consumers. And the fifth, affordable fuel prices can enhance mobility for the general population, particularly in regions with limited public transportation options. This can improve access to job, education, and other essential services. The sixth is lower fuel costs can provide a competitive advantage to domestic industries by reducing production and transportation costs. And the seventh is in countries with significant income disparities, fuel subsidies can act as a tool for distributing wealth and providing economic support to disadvantaged groups, thus helping to reduce inequalities. The eighth is some regions, fuel subsidies can ensure access to energy for essential activities such as heating, cooking, and transportation, which are crucial for the well-being and security of the population. From this evidence, it clearly that the continuation of fuel subsidy for private transportation is widely affect the population in a positive way. So I'm strongly agree with this motion to not being purpose. And that's enough for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the second speaker of the negative house. Your time is up. Okay. And then we'll go to the third speaker of the affirmative house. Daesh, are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Okay. Okay, your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay. Good evening to the honorable judges and all of tonight audiences. And I would like to respond to the negative team's arguments and restate the strong argumentations of why the government should reduce the fuel subsidy for private transportation. We point out three aspects that mentions by the negative teams, that it will lead to the inflation, transportation costs as well, with higher fuel prices, transportation costs from both individuals and businesses are likely to rise, and it will lead to the increased cost of transporting goods. And the third one, it is about the income distribution, that the burden of increased fuel prices disproportionately affects low-income individuals and family. And our arguments about this argumentation, that well, there's another cheaper alternative to price the transportation cost by using electric transportation that's subsidized by the government. It is better to allocate the subsidy for electric transportation rather than fuel. Besides, it is encourage renewable energy sources usage. It is cheaper to afford electric vehicles rather than gasoline-powered vehicles. In 2023, the average cost to operate an electric vehicle in the United States is $485 per year, while the average cost for a gasoline-powered vehicles is $1,117. And then, if it's not possible to impose this policy 100% from the start, a country could prioritize the subsidy to be allocated on funding businesses' transportation that potentially will impact the state inflation. By implementing this policy, a state would be able to achieve its goal on renewable energy sources and then reach a clean air goal. And then, by implementing those regulations, a country can avoid an immediate increase in fuel prices that can trigger a chain reaction, causing higher transportation costs and ultimately contributing to inflation. Prices of goods and services will not rise and affecting the purchasing power of consumers. And it will not increase the cost for transporting goods, that will bring negative impact to various sectors, the economy, nor leading to higher prices for consumers that the negative team mentioned before. And then the burden of increased fuel prices will not affect low-income individuals and families, nor potentially worsening income inequality, because there is still public transportation choice that they can choose, and their basic necessity will not affect it due to the constant goods transportation costs. In this case, the existence of a country is not only about making things easier for the people through simple methods, but it is also the state obligation to think about the long-term result of a program. Providing subsidy for fuel provides instant result in terms of people comfort, but it has implication for long-term damage. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, third speaker of the affirmative house. Now the turn of the third speaker of the negative house. Your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leah as the third speaker of negative team. So I'd like to convince you that the reduction of fuel subsidy for private transportation is should not be proposed. First, as the first speaker of affirmative team said about the reason given by the government that fuel subsidies are increasingly burdening the country economic state is not entirely wrong. From year to year, the amount has indeed increased. However, the government has forgotten that when compared to the amount of budget allocated for other items in our APBN, for example, routine spending, etc., the amount of fuel subsidies is still relatively small. If the burden of the APBN is indeed getting heavier, then the steps that can be taken by the government to overcome it are not only by reducing fuel subsidies. There are many policies that can be taken by government to reduce this burden. For example, by eradicating corruption and budget efficiency. And now I'd like to give my argument for the second speaker of affirmative team. They say that about allocating the subsidies to electric vehicles or new fuel vehicles. So here's the point. If the reduction of subsidies is accompanied by subsidies or incentive for electric vehicles, people may be encouraged to switch to more environmentally friendly vehicles. However, this transition requires time and a large initial investment. The level of effectiveness of electric vehicle subsidy procurement is highly dependent on a number of factors. The first one, availability and price. Electric vehicles are still more expensive and may be less available in some markets, and subsidies need to be substantial to overcome this price differential. And second, production and resources. Batteries for electric vehicles require raw materials such as lithium, cobalt, and nickel, which also have environmental and social impacts. Third, market adaptation. Markets and consumers need time to adapt to new technologies. Additional education incentive may be needed to encourage wider adoption. And also, as the third speaker said, that about public transportation. So for you who lives in a big city, it might be a good idea, but as we're living in Palangkaraya, we don't have a proper public transportation for everyone in the city. It's not properly suited for our country. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the third speaker of the negative house. You use your time wisely. And then we are entering the conclusion part, everyone. For the first team that delivered their conclusion is from the negative house and replied by the affirmative house. Okay, negative house, are you ready
Yes,
to
I'm ready.
give your conclusion? Okay, thank you. Your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay, thank you. To summarize our argument, we strongly believe that the government should reconsider reducing the fuel subsidy for private transportation in Indonesia due to potential negative impact that may cause later in the long term, which are placing a significant financial burden on households, particularly those heavily reliant on private vehicles for daily commute. Not only urban society, but it also highly impact the rural society. And next is increased cost for goods and services. Contributing to overall inflation, the sudden rise in fuel price might provoke public discontent and lead to social unrest, as seen in past in fuel price instance when subsidy were reduced. Lack of alternative transportation, and lastly, abrupt change in fuel price can disrupt economic stability and planning. Like the second speaker affirmative say, if it's not on target, so the solution is not reducing the subsidy, but the government must improve and strengthen the regulation on target this fuel subsidy. So that the fuel subsidy are directed on the specific target group appropriately. That's all from negative team. Ryan Extra, thank you.
Okay, you still your remaining time?
That's enough from him.
Okay.
Thank you.
And now from negative house, thank you so much. And then we are going to the reply by the affirmative house. Are you ready? Okay, the second speaker, right? Your
Yes.
time your time begins once you start speaking.
Okay, thank you, Miss As. Okay, for the conclusion from the affirmative house for today is we still believe that the government should reduce the fuel subsidy to reducing focus on the private transportation, like what we have been delivered before. The government should reduce the fuel subsidy and reallocate that for another public need. It can use for the healthcare, infrastructure development, and education. If the subsidy allocated can use to build more public facilities such as hospitals, school, bridge, and other infrastructure, it will make people have a better and easier access for education, transportation, information, and healthcare. Of course, in implementing this kind of policy, there will be obstacle or there will be any kind of challenges that against us. But I think we think that is appropriate and correct appropriate time to change the policy to make a better life for all people, which is like we say that to make sure that the subsidies are are accepted by a right person, not just enjoyed by the people of, like we said before, at the middle to the upper status. And for the short time advantages that we can use from the reducing of the fuel subsidy in the short time, for like the mungkin in maybe in Palangkaraya there's no necessary to have a public transportation now, but most of the people who enjoying the subsidy are in the big cities like Java and Bali. So if they're reducing is still implemented, it will make a better equality and for
Speaker,
all the public
your time is
education.
up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, second speaker of the affirmative house. All right, everyone, the debate session is over. Please give a big applause to yourself, guys. You did very good job. Okay, thank you everyone. You did very well to deliver your opinion. And now it's time to our adjudicators to entering breakout room session to discuss who will be the winner this debate session. We will come back for a few minutes. To all the speakers, if you want to take a break, please take it. But remember, stand by until the session is officially done. All right, we will back in a few minutes, guys. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome back, our adjudicators. And hello again, our contestant and all the supporters. Okay, it's been tough decision for our adjudicators to decide who will be go to the top 8. But we have the result. But before that, we would like to invite our adjudicators to deliver the comment. First from Mr. Doni. Mr. Doni, media is all yours.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Aisha. Sorry if I'm mistakenly speak out your name. So first of all, I really enjoyed the debates because I think it's quite heavy topics to debate about fuel subsidies, some issue that not every day managed by BPJS employee. I think is quite far from our field, but I think both of teams can argue and can debate in quite in a good way, I think. But I still recognize a few things that maybe you can take it as a issue to improve, something like that. First of all, I noticed that sometimes one of the team members not put much attention to what the opponent says. So you still rely on reading something. I don't know. I still get it that you still focusing on reading something. But I also noticed that some of you are really focused on what your opponent's statement and try to counteract and give it your best shot to give the a very good tactical response and arguments to counter back the argument from your opponent, and I think this is very good. The second of all, I think you must not. I think you should not speaking too fast. I think, or not like you are running something. So I think you should manage your time well, because I noticed that some of you are out of time. I think because maybe you too heavily focus on a lot of issues, but I think you can try to manage your time well, I think, next time. I think that's all from me, Baish, because I think we will announce the winner after all the educators give their comments, isn't it?
Yes, that's
Okay.
true, Miss.
Thank you, and good luck for you all, yeah. And I really enjoyed the debate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Doni. Good luck for you all from Mr. Doni, guys. And then our second comment from Miss Anna. Please, Miss Anna, media is all yours.
Thank you, Miss Ais. First of all, I want to say thank you very much for the both of teams for your insightful presentations today. We have just witnessed a heat debate, before, like Mr. Doni said. I would like to give you big applause for it. Both of teams, yay! Both of teams made some valid points and supported with relevant examples and statistics. However, you also face some challenges and criticisms from your opponents. So we'd like if you bring more data and facts to the table in the next match. This topic is really interesting. Maybe we didn't discuss in our field, but we discuss it a lot in public forum about fuel subsidy. So maybe you can reach more data and informations to make your argumentation firm. As our debate is running now, what you have to share more in this debate, I guess, is why reduce subsidy is more important to do, or what is subsidy disadvantage, or what are dangers of subsidy. But it's okay. Overall, I think all of the conclusions from both of teams are very well delivered. Very well delivered. And the most important thing is this is not reading competition, guys, where we value the fluency of your speaking skills, but more than that, we want you to pour your opinion, your authentic idea or considerations about the topic we discussed tonight. Well, for best speakers, my personal favorite is maybe Miss Dena will announce it. We have some taste, I guess. I love the way they talk, how you elaborate the argumentations. I hope you have learned something, guys, tonight and enjoy this intellectual exercise. And I would like to thanks for the supporters and counselor who attend the match today. I guess that's all, Miss Ais, from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Anna. You want to announce, but be patient because Miss Dena will be announced our best speaker and best team in this session. Okay, Miss Dena, time and media are yours.
Thank you. I'm not going to elaborate long because I'm sure you're excited to know, to find out who the winner of this debate. But tonight's debate is, it's really interesting. I can see that both teams have prepared well prepared case building and supported by data. And it was quite hard to decide who the winner is. And tonight debate will be split decision 2 versus 1, which means that whoever win or whoever lose this debate, you didn't really lose. It was slightly your opponent is just slightly better than yours. But both what I noticed is both first speakers did quite well in defining the motions. However, I would expect more limiting and defining the more clear stand by affirmative house. For example, what kind of subsidy that needs to be reduced, when will it be reduced? So it will be hard for your opponents to counterattack. So for example, if you say that the reduce in fuel subsidy will be done in the next 5 years, then probably your opponent would have a harder time to counterattack your arguments and counterattack your stand. So next time you're in debate, please make sure you define and limit your arguments, limit your stand based on the motions, and clearly define what kind of, for examples, the keywords in your motions. For example, what kind of fuel, or which one is private transportations, and for how much, or how much reduced, and when it will be used. For example, that's just an example, but you also can elaborate more on that. And I also noticed that both third speakers are quite good, because you listen and respond, which is the main job of third speakers. It was really good, and you could find out, you could notice which arguments that's not clear by your opponents, and you could give a firm comeback by the third speakers. However, both third speakers are actually best speakers, but because the moderator asked us to choose only one, so the best speaker for tonight is the third speaker of the negative house.
Congratulations, the speaker of negative house.
Yeah, and the winner of this debate, again, by split decision. I need to remind you this. Split decision 2 versus 1. The winner of this debate is negative house. Congratulations, Ryan Neither.
Congratulations, Ryan Neiters. Thank you, Ms. Dena, for your enlightenment, and thank you for the announcement. And once again, thank you so much for the Ryan Neiters. And for the age, you did a very well job, very good job in this evening. Don't be sad, we will meet again in INDC 2025. Okay, and I would like to say thank you so much for everyone for joining our today's match. Thank you for our educators, our team's counselor, our contestant, of course, and all the supporters. See you in the next round. Bye, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Mbak Ais. Thank
Waalaikumsalam.
you, Mbak Dena.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
everybody.
Thank you.
Samarinda.
Congratulations.